Coming up on Mountain News this morning, first responders are being recognized for their efforts during the recent flood. Plus, a visitor from Washington, D.C. came to check on veterans right here in Hazard.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and happy Monday to you, Mountain family. My name's Amelia Lee, here with you on this March 3rd at 4:59, which means it's time to check on in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at that forecast this morning. And Megan, I feel like we were treated this weekend. It was pretty warm, I would say, and just a good weekend overall. So are we going to have that luck into this week?
I'm sure some people would disagree with you. However, being outside, I had to say I enjoyed those temperatures this weekend. We saw some 40s and 50s, and we'll continue that trend in the 50s today. But much warmer is ahead as we're going into Tuesday and Wednesday. Current temperatures are quite chilly, though. We're talking 20s and teens for some places, 18 degrees for Jonesville and Irvin, 19 in Clintwood. Now we'll continue to warm into the afternoon highs. A little bit warmer than this weekend in the mid to upper 50s. 57 degrees in Harlan, 55 for most of the region. Seeing some cooler weather for our Virginia counties and our West Virginia counties in the low 50s. Now, here's a look at that satellite and radar, nice and clear. We'll see mostly sunny weather today, but that will not continue as we head into your Tuesday and Wednesday, because not only is a rain chance in the forecast, but also some storm chances that we have to look out for as we go through the next couple of days. Amelia.
All right, thank you, Megan. Well, as many Kentuckians are still dealing with the impact of the recent flooding, some are thanking the heroes behind many of the rescues. Carly Hogston shows us how First Lady Brittany Bashir is recognizing the first responders behind the effort.
It's been 2 weeks since flash flooding hit the Commonwealth, and first responders have been working nonstop in rescues and flood relief. Now, several rescue departments gathered again to be recognized by First Lady Brittany Bashir for their efforts.
Thank you is not enough. Those words are very meaningful, but it is not enough to convey how I feel about the jobs that you have done and the lives that you have saved.
Kentucky Emergency Management Doug Hargrave says when legislation created Kentucky's own urban search and rescue force 3 years ago, he hoped the collaboration of departments statewide would help hundreds. Now they've helped thousands.
Across the state, we had approximately 1,300 people that were rescued, either evacuated by boat or removed from harm's way.
Lexington Fire Department District Chief Chris Warren says these first responders that perform these swiftwater rescues have extra hours of training, and they go above and beyond just to save their fellow Kentuckians.
We try to challenge them as much as we can. You can't recreate what we see in nature. It's one rescue onto the next, onto the next, onto the next.
He says the training efforts and planning paid off as Lexington Fire Department was able to supply truckloads of rescue teams.
You realize how large of an impact we made while we were there, and you have some time to reflect, but it's on to the next training, it's on to the next call for us.
In Richmond, Carly Hogston, WKYT.
First Lady Bashir also announced that starting this past Saturday through next Friday will be Severe Weather Awareness Week. She and Governor Andy Bashir encouraged Kentuckians to be prepared for any type of weather. Well, the United States Secretary of Veteran Affairs, Doug Collins, made a stop in Hazard on Friday. Collins was at the Hazard VA Community Outpatient Clinic. He came to thank the employees at the clinic for the continued work they do for veterans, especially their ongoing work during the flood. Veterans say they were excited to meet the new secretary.
You know, hey, I'm just Doug. You know, I just, you know, as somebody once said, I'm just me with a big name and a fancy job, but my job is still just to be me, and that's to relate.
Veterans say the VA clinic in Hazard does a lot of good for the community, making the folks they serve feel like a priority even in times of crisis. Martin County communities saw widespread damage after the recent floodwaters hit the region. From the Warfield IGA to communities throughout Lovely and Huntleyville, many neighborhoods were under several feet of water and businesses were soaked. Community members say they do not remember the floodwaters ever hitting their neighborhoods in such a scattered and devastating way, but they're proud to see how everyone is coming together.
Neighbors began to help neighbors, and the following day, volunteers started to pour in with supplies, food, and manpower.
She says the volunteers who have helped her community are nothing short of angels, and she hopes to see the resources continue to flow in. Kentuckians are not the only ones helping flood victims. Some in other states are helping out as well. The Cosby Fire Department in Cosby, Tennessee is collecting supplies to deliver to folks in Martin and Pike counties. Volunteers will be taking the items to those areas this week. That includes baby formula, lighters, canned goods, and bottled water. A FEMA Disaster Recovery Center is now open here in Perry County. The site is at Hazard Community and Technical College main campus. The center will operate from 7 in the morning until 7 in the evening, Monday through Saturday, and 1 until 7 on Sundays. FEMA officials say representatives will be able to explain available assistance programs, as well as how to apply to FEMA and help connect survivors with resources for their recovery needs. The deadline to apply for federal assistance is April 25th. Many Hazard High School students were recognized for their volunteer work during the flood. WYMT's McKinley Calandrino attended a special event for those helpers on Friday.
They are students, they are student athletes, but most importantly, they are student volunteers. Students at Hazard High School were awarded with a community service certificate and a luncheon on Friday to recognize them for their volunteer work after the Valentine's Day weekend flood. The principal, teachers, coaches, and Hazard Mayor Happy Mobilini were all in attendance to support the students and let them know how special it truly is.
You know, not every kid wants to go out and get in 5 inches of mud and carry filing cabinets out. And we had over 100 that volunteered at our high school.
The superintendent says this will help the students with their future endeavors as well as with college applications and job resumes. They will always have something to show their commitment to their community. But that is not why the students did the dirty work. They help their community because they care.
This is their town. This is the young people's town. They want their city to do well.
Junior Carly Watt says helping each other is a big part of Hazard High School and what they stand for.
It's nice to be appreciated, but that's not what we do it for.
Students care about their town and the people in it.
I mean, it's good. I'm just glad to help people out, help the community out, and see so many people help.
And they say it makes it so much more special being able to come together and help as one big family.
We are one big family. If a neighbor needs help, we're going to go help them. And we don't have to ask twice. They just jump in and are ready to serve.
And that is what makes a Hazard Bulldog a Bulldog. In Hazard, McKinley Calandrino, WYMT Mountain News.
The Hazard High School students volunteered 6 days out of the week. They were out of school for weather.